Let's welcome Connie Stephens-Eaton. Hey, Connie, welcome to the show. How are you? Welcome to our podcast.
Connie.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Connie. So, first question, have to ask. It's the same question we ask all our guests. Just tell us something, anything that we couldn't look on Google and find out about you.
I would have to say, when did I get started in art? That would be something you could not find on Google.
So when did you get started?
I was about 4 years old.
Oh, really?
When I started.
Oh,
wow. And what got you started?
My grandfather, actually. I grew up around my grandparents, and my grandfather did a lot of stuff with his hands, and I would watch him. So he started buying me paper and crayons, and I just picked it up from there. So I would truly have to say that I am a self-artist. So yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. And I'm looking at some of the art behind you. It's like some really good stuff. I see it's like a black man in chains, breaking out of his chains, and a young black girl in the background. It looks like a family behind you, or is that a father and daughter?
It's actually two young black males.
Okay.
I did a series of paintings with the different types of afflictions, and I don't know if you can tell, but one of the young men in the painting has one arm.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
Oh, wow.
He's still capable to participate in sports. So,
I love that.
Well,
thank you.
I actually have. Let me share some of your artwork here. I mean, you have
beautiful,
amazing talent.
Thank you.
Wow.
Looks like you've done Starry Night in watercolors, but you're using, what is this? This is a cabin. That's awesome. Yeah, it's some amazing work.
They're
so actually,
so intricate.
Yeah, and the link to her work is actually on our description. So feel free to take a look at some of her work. So so tell me, what's the world looking like in Louisiana? So you're living in Louisiana now, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and I've been down there a few times, and the things I love most is the food, the music, and the art.
Yep. Art. Yep.
So tell me what's going on down there now in terms of the art. What are you working on?
Right now I'm doing a series on celebrities, and the celebrities that I'm painting are actually deceased. I've just done a painting on Marvin Gaye. I did one on Prince. The one that I did on Prince, I couldn't keep it. I had a lot of hits on it. A lot of people wanted it. And with Mardi Gras season in Louisiana, I'm also doing some paintings on Mardi Gras.
So you sold the one on Prince? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Out of curiosity, nice. I just need to know, how much does something like that go for?
Good question.
Well, it depends on what size I'm doing this. If I choose to frame it, the the Prince painting that I did was an 11 by 14. And I would start that at 200. I'm not an expensive artist, so I would start at 200.
I can afford you.
I have to ask, beautiful. How much are the Prince? How much are the Prince prints?
Prince. You said 200.
Right now they're 75.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I will take one right now.
14.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know I normally ask this at the end, but how do I get one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, seriously.
All you have to do is just message me on Facebook, and I mean I'm sitting right here now. Just so you can just.
Well, you could put me down for one. I will take a Prince. I love Prince. I've always loved Prince.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get that out to you all.
All right.
Okay.
So you worked on this COVID project for Louisiana Board of Health. Tell us about that.
The way I was chosen for that, here in Shreveport, you have to be chosen as a collectible artist. And what that is, they bring in judges from other states to come in and judge your artwork. And out of 44 artists, they chose 4, and I was one of the 4.
Oh, wow.
And as a opportunity, one of the opportunities that rose up with that was the Louisiana Department of Health. They were trying to get African Americans, people in low income areas to go and get the vaccine. So we were commissioned, there are 4 regions in Louisiana, so we were commissioned, one for each region, to do a billboard design, one that could be placed throughout Louisiana in order to encourage, like I said, African Americans, people that are in low income areas, to go and get this vaccine. And so because I was chosen as a collectible artist and being an African American, I was given the opportunity to do this for the state.
Okay, that's awesome.
Very nice.
Wow.
All right, so this is Truth Lies Shenanigans, so we got to get some truth lies and some shenanigans from you. So with you being an art educator, right? We've noticed that funding nationwide for the arts has been dropping drastically. Let me ask you, I mean, what do we need to do? Well, first, I'd like you to share the importance of art, especially in education. And what can we do to kind of change that trend?
I feel like art is very important because art can tie into every aspect of the curriculum. Art also allows the students to have an opportunity to express himself through creativity. Unfortunately, especially here in the Northwest region of Louisiana, with the high rate of low performance schools, art is one of those subjects that's being pulled out of the schools. It is a lot of schools are given the choice. If you consider low performance, either you're going to take extra math classes or you're going to have to pick up something and you're going to have to lose something. And so art was one of those things that got pulled out of a lot of school. Funding got cut as a part of that because a lot of people feel like art is not important enough when really it is. And sadly, there are a lot of low performance schools here in Northwest Louisiana that don't offer art. And so there's a lot of talent, and the talent goes unseen because art is no longer offered and the funding is not there.
And then there's no training for those young artists to be able to flourish and thrive. Right.
And see, here in Northwest Louisiana, I'm sorry, say it again.
No,
okay, I'm a part of the Art Council here, and we have a large program that goes on every year. It's called Art Break. And it's like a competition, and it involves all of the schools around Northwest Louisiana, where those students that don't have the opportunity to have art in their schools, they can't participate because this is something that is done through the schools or through education. So they lose a lot when they pull the art funding and art is not offered.
So just on with children being disadvantaged and having those programs removed, I'm very curious about your work with at-risk youth. And how did the opportunity present itself for you to work with them? How has the art influenced the youth that you work with, and how has this work influenced you?
The students that I worked with had a lot of disabilities, and art was a way to enhance those disabilities. These were students that were slower in learning. Some of the students that I worked with also had behavior problems. I noticed one young man that I was working with, he had behavior problems, and I gave him some paper and I said, draw me something. This young man sat down and he drew a water system. He drew a complete system of how to get water and filter it out of the ocean and get it into people's homes. And this was a young man that was having behavior problems. And then he was tested. I took this drawing and I showed it to my superiors. He was tested, and then we found out this young man was gifted.
Wow.
Had it not been for him doing something with art, we wouldn't have picked up on it. So We found out he was gifted. He was placed in gifted and talented classes, and then his behavior changed. Now he has a challenge.
Wow.
So,
It sounds like the
Wow.
conversation we were having earlier about ADHD and kind of like
Yeah.
just kind of hyper focusing them in a different direction.
Wow. Yes.
And a
it
lot of
gives them
gifted
something
kids
to
do
focus.
have behavioral issues because if they understand the concepts, really understand the concepts that are being taught in class already, they are bored. So they act out in different ways. That's,
Yeah.
believe me,
Yeah.
I know.
Exactly.
Aside from just like, petitioning school boards, how else can we work on getting like the art into these children? Because I know, like, from experience, I have a daughter who's ADHD and loves art and is, enjoying. Luckily, we have art in her school, and she's taking this year to actually explore a lot of different mediums. She's discovering that she likes photography, but I've put her
Aw.
in some other things, but how can we really get, because, I've seen art do wonders. So I think it's really
Yeah.
important to get this into, these kids. If we can't get into the school system, we got to find another way.
Right.
Well, for me, I've started doing private art lessons. I have students that I'm working with that are homeschooled.
Mm.
And of course, being homeschooled, art is not offered. So I will go to their homes. There are several artists that's doing that now. They are doing private art lessons where you go to the home and teach one-on-one art with these students, or you can designate an area and the students can come and meet with you to learn how to do art. And I have some talented students, and I'm very proud of my students.
Very nice.
Thank you.
My question, I know that you have said that, well, you've explained that you're self-taught. What made you choose to self-teach? Was that just a natural inclination? Was it just natural to begin artwork? And can anyone self-teach, in your opinion? Can anyone teach themselves, in your opinion, art?
I would say it started off as a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you can be self-taught if you just work at it. What made me stay with it in the third grade, we were all given paper. We were in class, we were given paper, and we were told to draw whatever is on our mind. And
Yeah.
I did, and that's what I did. We had no idea that it was a competition. Nobody told us. And so my mom got a phone call about a week later, and I found out that I won. So I actually won my first art competition in the third grade, and that was
Wow.
inspiration for me. One of the prizes for winning was art lessons, and because I was already drawing, so I took the art lessons. You get free art supplies and all of that. So
Yay.
that was an inspiration for me.
Yeah, sometimes
But
art
if
comes
you,
naturally.
Yes, to
it
some, it's
does, and
just a
it did
natural
for
thing.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
for
some of
It did
you.
for
us,
me.
enter a lick.
So,
What's your favorite medium?
yeah.
My favorite
What's your
medium, I
favorite
would have
medium?
to say, my favorite medium, I would have to say, is watercolor. I work in all mediums, but and as you can tell, the pieces behind me are watercolor.
Yep,
But
definitely.
what is so
Yes.
funny about me is I cannot draw, but I can paint,
Ah,
and
Wow.
I haven't figured that one out. So yeah,
wow, that's
my
interesting.
That's so
my
So
drawing is
basically, you're
awful.
able to kind of like put your pictures in your mind onto the canvas without actually
through
drawing it.
painting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it kind of comes to
So
life.
I can
Watercolors
kind
is hard to
of,
work in,
I
though.
do.
I've tried to
They
work in
are
watercolors. They're
very
hard to
difficult
work in for me.
I've had some practice.
for
So
me.
I hear that a lot, and a lot of artists won't touch. A lot of artists won't do watercolor, but
Yeah,
I've gotten the hang of it.
nice. All right,
I
so
have
there.
a question about a
Yeah.
specific piece.
Mhm.
As I was going through your gallery and your collection, Clementine Hunter, Red Chicken. Who is she? Her eyes are so soulful, and it's such a minimalist painting, but I found myself really drawn to it. So I want to know who this person is.
Clementine Hunter was an artist here in Louisiana around the Natchitoches area, and she didn't start art until late in life. Clementine Hunter was also one of those artists that, and I'm just going to be real, she was discovered by someone that is white,
Mm-hmm.
and she was paid little of nothing for her artwork, and then all of a sudden her artwork became very, very famous. Clementine Hunter has passed away. She's been deceased for several years, and her artwork is selling for thousands on up, and her family receives no royalties or anything like that. But she is very well known for folk art.
Yeah. All right, we're
Wow.
running a bit out of time, but I just have to ask you this one question. So there's, of course, this new trend of artificial intelligence art. So computers, robots making art. So I'm looking at them, and the art that is created by the AIs is actually pretty striking. It's actually pretty amazing and eye-catching. So do you think that robots eventually will replace us, artists?
I don't think so. I've looked at AI. If you look at some of the artwork that's been done, they cannot do hands. There's always some type of flaw with AI. As a human being, we do the thinking, we do the creativity. AI is just what it is. It's artificial. It does what we tell it, and it's not. It's they say intelligent, but it's not intelligent enough to even do hands. So
I'm curious what my
no, I don't
panel
think it's
thinks
going
too. I'm curious what my panel thinks. AI?
I don't think it's
really,
going to replace humans in art because
Okay.
there's a passion in art that you can't
There's an
make as
originality.
a
that you
Yeah.
can't replicate.
yeah
Just
yeah
even as a musician, AI generated music technically can be absolutely flawless, but it lacks that soul.
I mean, right,
emotion.
because you need the flaw,
Right.
right? The flaws are what make it unique and
Yeah.
different and
Yes.
special.
doesn't tell a
Right.
story.
That's what
And
makes
that's how
jazz
we take
pop
it.
is that it's slipping and sliding everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
hmm
I'm actually curious if AI could do jazz. I mean, that might be interesting to see.
Right?
All right.
They
All
can
right.
do anything at this point.
All right,
Yeah, I can
Connie.
do anything.
We're out of time,
can't do it
Connie. But
well.
do you have any final words, anything you'd like to share with our audience, any shout outs? And please let everyone know how they can find you and find your art.
I am with Culturalist under Expressions in Watercolor. I am also on Instagram at Connie Eaton 899, and you can also find me on Facebook under Connie Eaton as well. I just like to end by saying thank you for allowing me this opportunity, and I will say please, please, please support the Black
Artists.
artists.
I love that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Fantastic
Thank you.
final words. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you.
Connie.
Thank you, Connie.
I'll talk to you soon.
Love
Wow.
it.
Really
Yeah.
good guest, huh?
Beautiful work.
Artist.
Really good guest. So, yeah, because art, we can't get rid of art.
No.
It's one of the things I
No.
loved in school. You know,
Me too.
I was one of those gifted and talented students in school too, but art was really what kind of centered me, and I enjoyed it. I know my sister still has some of my art from when I was a kid. I don't know where she found it. But
Olivia,
And
she
for-
would.
And for an ADD kid, before ADD was a thing, if
Yeah.
I would get lost in my art, that's when the hyper focus would kick in. But it was always, it was just such a great outlet for
Yeah.
me. It always was.
Kevin
It had no
Thaxton.
rules.
Kevin Thaxton says art can be mathematic. IA can mimic certain actions,
100%.
but it has to
Yeah.
be told. For now, a maniacal laugh.
He said that.
I'll get the chair spin going too.